I do believe, I mean, we are only scratching the surface right now on what AI is going to do to transform our businesses and our personal lives. If you're finding that you're getting squeezed, add more value. Don't lower your fee. Add more value, because once you lower your fee, you can't raise it.
Vickie Lewin, wow, take a seat in the suite. I am so excited to do this with you today. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's a wonderful Tuesday. It is a Tuesday afternoon. We are going to get to 70 degrees here in the Northeast. I'm right outside
Fabulous.
of Philly. So yesterday it was like got into the 60s, took a walk, got outside. So it's wonderful. And you're coming to me from in California, right?
I'm in Napa right now.
Oh boy. Oh, I
Yes.
did a bike tour in Napa. We went to Opus. We went to Frog's Leaf. You were in the most exquisite part of the country.
Yes, I am. I have my fireplace going by me because in Napa the temperature swings are pretty extreme, so it's still a little chilly here this morning.
Oh wow. I'll never forget my Mark pulling up in a convertible Mustang as we were touring Napa for the first time. And I was like, oh, anyway, what a dream.
Yes.
Great to be
Yes.
reminded of that. And so today, absolutely thrilled to have you, Vickie. I've been looking forward to this conversation. You know, you are someone, you're happy International Women's Day too. You're definitely a female leader with experience in both asset management and wealth tech, which is pretty cool. You've been at the forefront in innovation in the space for over 2 decades, helping your firm scale and adapt to a rapidly evolving environment. So we're going to get into your journey and insights today. We've got a great listenership. Thank you, all you Sweeters today, for joining us. Let's kind of start at the top here. Let's start with Amplify Technology. Tell us about the platform and how it's helping wealth management firms to, simplify and automate their core operations.
You got it, but it's over 3 decades, I have to confess.
Okay, it's
I
over
know.
3 decades. That's
It,
great. You
it
look
is.
amazing.
It is. We'll see if I make it to 40 years or not, but I'm chipping away at it. So Amplify is what is commonly now being referred to as an all-in-one platform, really created to try to simplify what has quickly become complex for many registered investment advisors as they're trying to build and grow their businesses. You know, all of this technology was created for RIAs to simplify things for them so that they could plug out of an RIA or plug out of an independent broker-dealer world where they had everything provided to them and then operate on their own. And now there's so much technology that it's difficult. So Amplify is an all-in-one. We have a client lifecycle management system, much like a CRM, research tools, portfolio construction tools, the ability to build proposals, the ability to trade at all of the custodians, Pershing, Schwab, Fidelity, Goldman, Axos, as well as the ability to do performance reporting, billing, and a client portal. So it's all the stuff, if you will, that a registered investment advisor needs to operate. Our client at Amplify is the registered investment enterprise
Hmm.
that supports all of the advisors. And so we have a lot of tools in place as well to help that RIA owner with compliance and oversight and all of the things that they need to do.
That's great. And how long have you been with Amplify?
You know, it's only been since June of last year, so I
Yeah.
guess the answer is almost a year. And I was in my boss's office, the CEO, the founder of Amplify, and I was like, "Can you believe it's been a year?" And he said what I feel. In some ways, it's hard to imagine that it's been so long, but in other ways, I feel like I've always been there. So, you know, I'm weaving my way into the fabric of the organization, which feels good.
And I mean, part of the reason that they put what I think is a sure bet on you, Vickie, is the fact that you've got a very fascinating background with a lot of accomplishment here. You played a pivotal role in AssetMark's transformation from the 1 billion TAMP that they started at to over 100 billion. So what were some of the key drivers? I'm sure that Amplify looked at you, what were some of the key factors of that growth? We've got a lot of women who are listening, and a lot of us in executive leadership here are tasked with some sort of digital transformation project right now. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, and we will be forever for the foreseeable future. Yes.
Absolutely.
So, I think what Amplify liked about my background is that I joined AssetMark in 2001 when they were just about a billion in assets under management. They were at the time still owned by the founders,
Mm,
and what mad respect I have for those guys. I loved working for them. And the early days at AssetMark, it was just find another advisor and help them open another account. And really early days at AssetMark, we built the firm brick by brick, just one win at a time. And then obviously, AssetMark, the story of the evolution of AssetMark is really awesome, and it was really great to get to be a part of it from a billion to I think they were about 110 actually, technically when I left.
nice.
And Amplify is looking for the same thing. Their Amplify was real close to 20 billion in AUM when I joined. So, much further along in their growth cycle than the 1 billion. But I think what they saw in me is somebody who understands how to grow, how to lean in, how to fight. Um, you know, um, Someone who's not afraid to make a mistake and fix it quickly. Someone who certainly knows the story of our industry, the evolution of our industry, and what a complex ecosystem it has become. And quite honestly, it's becoming even more complicated. So I think that's what Amplify saw in me that they're asking me to lean into. And
I
it is
love it.
fun. It is fun. The building part of a business, which is what Amplify is in, is a really fun stage.
And so I should also mention that you're chief growth officer. So what kind of trends, what do you attribute that growth to? Again, a lot of us are listening and confronting, large projects. Why do you think the TAMP industry, we could either take this question, Vickie, general or specific? Why has there been such adoption, rapid adoption, I would call, of TAMPs and, if you will, all-in-one platforms?
Yeah. It started, it's like a lot of things. It started slowly and then certainly it accelerated. I started talking to financial advisors about the trend from commissions to fees
Mm,
in the early 90s. And I think people thought I was a little bit crazy at the time. So there are a couple of trends at play that certainly are helping turnkey asset managed providers, all-in-one platforms. The first one is the trend from commissions to fees that started, I want to say it started in the 90s.
mm.
And when it started, you'll laugh. I was selling 3% a year separately managed accounts at the time, and trying to convince advisors, trying to teach really, not convince, that 3% separately managed account was cheaper than a mutual fund after they paid the 4 or 5% load. A few bought what I was selling, but not a lot. But that trend from commissions to fees that started quite a long time ago has certainly accelerated, and we don't even call it that now. We call it the trend to fiduciary, which is what it is, and
Mhm.
it's certainly a wonderful trend. It's the way that I believe that all financial advisors should operate with their clients, regardless of how they're paid. And obviously, that fiduciary standard of putting your clients' interests ahead of your own is what that trend is all about. The second trend that is in play right now is the trend of breaking away from wirehouses and independent broker-dealers, the trend to independence, we'll call it, which is absolutely what it is. Financial advisors, most of them, I'll say maybe not, I won't say most, many of them, will go with that. They don't want to be told what to do. They don't want to be told how to operate their business. They don't want to be told what products they can and can't use. They don't want to be told how they can and can't charge. So many are choosing independence, and they're choosing the RIA model. And as that trend now is accelerating, that's the trend of all of this technology to support that breakaway advisor, right? The Michael Kitces map, what a What
Oh
up?
my God. It's so funny that you just said that, Vicky, because I literally just saw him last week at T3. And I
Yeah.
have some couple of videos. Actually, I'll be working on those and I'll be getting them out on social. And so I said to him, it was the first thing I said. I was like, Michael, the map is like blowing up. And he's like, I know, you know.
Well, it was genius for him to think to put it together, and I've seen
For,
some other industries do something similar. And
yeah.
if you go back and you look at his map from 2017 or 2018, you can actually read the logos that are on the page. There was space, there was white space, and if you look at it now, he's down to this tiniest little picture, so he can still fit it all on one page. So the trend of the breakaways created all of this great technology and all of these
Mhm.
companies to support RIAs, but now there's so many that we've it's become too complicated, and so all of these breakaways are saying, help me make this easier. And so Amplify is benefiting from all those trends, that trend to fiduciary, the trend to independence, and the trend towards simplicity, I'm going to call it, in structuring a business model.
So we have listeners in over 82 countries right now. So what Vicky's talking about, everyone, this idea of fiduciary, and we've discussed it in the suite before, but it was something that I had to learn, Vicky, as I came here as a second career person. I've been in marketing for 30 years. If you count cheerleading in high school, I count cheerleading in high school as marketing. Um, anyway, so it's fiduciary means that an advisor is charged on the advice that they're giving. So it's product, what we call like product or investment agnostic. The advisor is not making any more money if they put you into one mutual fund or ETF over another. There is a suitability standard that other companies use that actually the advisor does get paid commission. So for anyone listening here right now, especially women, we love financial advisors and the registered investment advisory market. I will say that we definitely have a bias. I came from that world, Vicky. So as you were explaining the trends, you're spot on. And I was in the field during that time of like independence. And it was the first thing that when I joined a registered investment advisor that they explained to me what fiduciary meant. And it's really like it's an oath. It's a promise to the client. So, kudos to you for recognizing that and making sure that, advisors have a all-in-one system platform to, run their business. One of the things that came up, and I did ask Michael this question too, like, could we spend a minute talking about AI? Because it's 2025, it's a beautiful day in March, and everything and everywhere we look right now, Vicky, with AI and automation becoming more prevalent, what do you think that advisors should be doing to future-proof their businesses?
Yeah, the AI is really exciting. I was at a conference, I want to say 2-ish years ago. It's time, it's kind of blurry. But 2-ish years ago, it was an MMI conference, and it was the first time that I heard a speaker on AI. So you think back, 2 years ago, we were still just, learning how to spell Chat GPT. Um, and the speaker at the time said that AI was going to be as transformative to our personal and professional lives as the creation of the internet was. And that really like stopped me in that moment. And because I didn't get it. I didn't get it until that moment, what a big deal this was. And so I'm not surprised that we are all talking about AI, and we're talking about how do we use it? How do we learn it? How do we implement it? How do we make sure we don't get behind? Because you can get behind fast when technology, innovation, and change is happening so fast. I think about, I think about technology, and I think about people in their, 70s and 80s that are trying to keep up. And I want to make sure that that doesn't become me, because it can happen quickly. So I'm not surprised that we're talking about AI, but I do believe, I mean, we are only scratching the surface right now on what AI is going to do to transform our businesses and our personal lives. I'm on ChatGPT almost every day now instead of some of the other places that I used to go. I will confess that it does help to write some of the LinkedIn posts that may find themselves on Amplify's website, and I know many journalists lean on them for writing prompts. Right, it's easier to start with something than a blank sheet of paper. Innovation in asset management right now, I think people are cautious, understandably so, and are leaning in heavily to the productivity tools. You know, the note takers are they're just fabulous. The way they can action item what people need to do are just fabulous. So I would encourage people to start to think about and use the easy AI applications. And then the most important thing, as it relates to being able to lean into all of the AI integrations in the future, is data. The most important thing is data and the consolidation of data all in one place. The AI tools will be very hard to use if data is in 6 or 7 different systems and your business can't really understand what's happening in the disparate systems. And so the all-in-one platforms where data is all in one place, we really believe are going to be able to lean into these AI tools and implement and use these AI tools, the ones we know about today and the ones that, you know, we haven't even dreamed are being created, that are being created and will be real to us in less than a year, I imagine.
Yeah, so a couple of things here is, again, coming back from the T3 conference, Zox gave a really incredible presentation. They are an AI product in the wealth management space. So for anybody who's looking for a note taker, recommend that. Number two is, Vickie, I'm back in school. So I am taking a Google AI certification right now. It's a Coursera course. I spent $49 for it. I'm halfway through the course. And then after that AI certification, I obviously plan to do a lot more. It's a badge that you can incorporate on your LinkedIn. You could put it in an email signature. And the final thing I want to say is, because I saw again at T3, financial planning for advisors, any advisor listening here, financial planning just started an new conference last year. Michael talked about it, Michael Kitsis, and all his recommendations. It's called Advise AI. And this year it will be October 28th to the 29th at the Wynn in Las Vegas. So it's a conference for advisors that's focused on AI. So like the concepts that Vickie's talking about innovation and seeing AI product adoption in various systems and all-in-one tools and all of that, it might be a great place for people to go.
Yeah, I tell you, I'm excited about what this new new technology, this new innovation is going to do for all of us. And I'm so glad that I get to be a part of, building and implementing and incorporating this into Amplify's ecosystem, and then figuring out what the heck it'll do for all of us personally. It's an exciting chapter.
Another trend and again, so apologize for bringing so much of T3. It was literally just there, and it's a conference all about technology with advisors should go to as well too. Fee compression right now, the industry has been talking about it, and that also has been a major challenge. And I feel that there is some alpha that could be earned or created by virtue of just making sure that you have the right tech stack. What are you seeing at Amplify Technology about like fee compression? Are you able to see any benefits from, switching to an all-in-one platform in terms of how much an advisor could potentially, could maximize their practice?
Sure, sure. So when you say fee compression, it's another one of those that just it makes me smile, not because we like it, but because it's a trend that's been going on for decades. For financial advisors who were selling products, recommending products in the 80s, mutual fund loads were 8 to 8.5%.
Wow,
Right.
that is crazy.
And now, granted, that was a commission, and then there was a trail on that, but now that was people were earning 8.5%. now we talk in terms of basis points. So this trend towards fee compression has been going on for a long time. We do find that fee compression is less the closer one is to the end client. So financial advisors feel fee compression a little bit less than product providers, who feel fee compression a little bit less than custodians, right? The further away in the financial services ecosystem you get from the client, the more you feel the fee compression. So at Amplify, so yes, fee compression is here and it is real. And I'm just going to do this. The bit of advice that I give financial advisors about fee compression is, if you're finding that you're getting squeezed, add more value. Don't lower your fee. Add more value, because once you lower your fee, you can't raise it. Like, fight tooth and nail for what you're worth. So just a little advice that you didn't ask me for.
That's huge advice, though. Could we just spend just one more time in terms of value? Again, here you are, Vickie, a prominent female leader in financial services for many years, helped to take a TAMP in its, early beginning years to unimaginable growth. Where's that value add for advisors right now who are struggling with this equation?
Sure. So, first of all, it's in financial problem solving, right? It's not in portfolio construction. It's not in all the time that somebody spends researching to decide how much in growth and how much in value and this ETF or that ETF and how much in fixed income, which is why there is a massive trend to outsourcing the models, which is again the reason that you have TAMPs growing. The value that a financial advisor provides is in coaching and counseling and financial problem solving, being a friend and a listener and a mentor, keeping people calm when the markets aren't calm, like right now.
Exactly right now.
Right now, keeping people from making the mistake of getting out of the market at the exact wrong time. People forget that when you go out of you have to make have to get two decisions right to succeed as an investor, both the time to exit and the time to re-enter. And many people who panic and get out now. So the real value of a financial advisor is all of that face time, and it can be Zoom, face to face with clients, helping them solve financial problems, talking to them about their hopes and dreams for their retirement and what they can do for their kids. So it's really in financial planning, which is why you're seeing obviously a massive growth in planning and planning technology. I had one advisor I worked with years and years ago who used to people talk about, well, what do you get paid per hour as a financial planner? And her answer was, I don't get paid by the hour. I get paid for the years. For the years that I've been doing this and all the things that I've seen and people that I've talked to. So that's what I think financial advisors really need to lean into, is financial problem solving, coaching, counseling, mentoring, being there.
Yeah, it's interesting, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, Vickie and I are recording on Tuesday, March 11th. Monday, March 10th was not such a great day in the market. So the NASDAQ fell 4%, the Dow plunged 1,000. This morning, things are red. Good buying opportunity. But yeah, I think a lot of the things you were saying in terms of value add from an agency perspective, right now, we are building marketing campaigns for clients to be proactive and not reactive, to be in touch with the client, because the number one reason why clients leave an advisory firm is because of lack of communication. And if you get out in front of it, like everything in life, if you get out in front of it, I feel that you have a better chance at success, especially for clients. They want to learn, they want to understand. You have to coach them behaviorally. So some really, really good points that you just mentioned there, Vickie.
Yeah, financial education is often cited as financial literacy is often cited as one of the most important things that investors want from their financial advisor. This is a great time to be giving it to them. The plan didn't change. The markets are going to be volatile. We know that to be true. If your plan didn't change, then don't change anything.
Can we talk a little bit about M&A? So I feel like, M&A, and it's a trend that you also that we've mentioned, and we've talked about it in the past. Some breakaway advisors coming from a wirehouse all of a sudden find themselves having to build a tech stack and, buy technology for the first time. Do you have any advice, because you've seen this from so many different lenses, Vickie? Do you have any advice for firms navigating M&A and, having to go from one system to another? It might actually be beneficial, right? It might be advantageous that you join a firm that has a more modern tech stack to begin with. That is a business builder.
Yeah, it's when we were talking about thinking about tech stack earlier in terms of reducing cost. Reducing cost shouldn't be the only thing that people think about when making all of those decisions. Those decisions should also be made about ease of use and integration, and not just for the advisor, but also for their staff. So you're talking about those things. So as advisors are being recruited to join other firms,
Uh-huh.
the advice that I would give is do your homework. Um, the the person offering the most money may not be the best fit for the advisor and for their clients. The decisions that advisors and business owners make, I mean, it's massive. Financial advisors, many of them um, built a career so that they could support their families. And then what they quickly, many of them learned, is that their business was the largest asset on their balance sheet, and they deserve to be able to monetize that. But they need to ask themselves a lot of questions like, how long am I, who is taking over my book of business? Do I feel good? Do I feel good about the person and the individuals that are going to take care of my clients? Is it a sale where the business owner is going to leave suddenly, or are they leaving over some number of years? How is the payout structured? Is the payout structured over some number of years that's and structured based on growth? And so, and for many it is. It's an initial payout, and then it's structured for growth. So I would say do your homework, make sure you like where you live, make sure your clients are going to be happy, make sure your client service associate is happy, make sure you understand the technology, make sure that the technology and the office infrastructure set you up for growth. Because what you don't want to go somewhere and have that asset, your business that you've worked so hard to create over so many of years, deteriorate because you found yourself in the wrong home.
I love what you just said. I can't wait that we're going to make a nice video on that and put that on replay. Listen to that. Anyone that's listening back, rewind the tape and play that over and over again. I do want to mention for our listening audience and our visual audience as well, too, because this will be on YouTube as well. The address, I should have put it out in earlier, is amplifyplatform.com. I want to say, I mean, this revolves, this whole technology piece really either solidifies your practice or it doesn't. So kudos to you and Amplify. Amplify, $18.6 billion of assets under management, 566 advisors. Again, at the time of this, March 11th, 10:32 a.m., 33,609 households. And you've, congratulations, you were last year's Think Advisor Luminary winner, and you were Wealthy's finalist. So Wealthy's right now, everybody is get your awards in place. So some really impressive wins here. So, to bring it all back to full circle here, technology should account for, in addition to the cultural decision, technology needs to really be tuned in to a more modern aesthetic for any firm that any advisor is considering joining. It is that important.
Yeah, and I'll help you put an exclamation point on that. It's going to be more important because now we have this massive wealth transfer. is the new trend that we're going to be talking about. These trillions of dollars that are moving from the boomer generation onto their heirs, and their heirs are more tech savvy, and they expect better data visualization. They're going to want the information that they want when they want it on the device that they want it on. And so for advisors, if you haven't thought about modernizing your tech stack, this great generational wealth transfer that is just getting started, it really should force you to take a good, strong look at this, or your clients' children won't stay with you.
We even see that from the branding side. I swear to God, Vickie, we see that on the branding side. We had an advisor that came to our firm. He's like, Tina, I'm good. I'm good with growth. I got growth. In a building where there is an estate attorney feeding me business all the time. So he goes, but I'm really embarrassed. I'm embarrassed about how my website looks. And this estate attorney sends in family members, multi-generational family members, and I'm afraid that we don't look relevant and digital enough. So it's exactly how you're describing from the practice management perspective, we see on the branding front as well. So get
Yes.
great technology, get a great website, make sure you have a great brand. What Vickie's talking about is a wild thing here, but I remember when the studies were just first out, and now it's actually happening. It's actually manifesting, right? That wealth generational transfer is already in play.
Yes. And you
Okay.
need to position your business for it. Good advice you've given there.
That's right. And Vickie, look, you understand that you have had an incredible trajectory. So you've read lots of different, you've been at lots of different parts of the market and cycle. Let's just spend a little bit of time on your incredible career trajectory. Again, we've got a lot of women and men who are here in the suite with us because they want to take away some of the leadership lessons that other people have used so that they themselves can get, further faster. So if there's one leadership lesson that has stayed with you throughout your career, what would it be?
Yeah. Don't just show up. And that's don't just show up, but pay attention, ask questions, raise your hand, get uncomfortable. That was a little more than just one, if I could summarize it all together. You know, if I could summarize it all together, maybe that worked for you.
It worked for me. I'm getting the genesis of just like, hey, speaking up. My business professor in graduate school, Terry Tevis, God bless his soul. Hello, Terry, if you are still listening. He said to our class, he goes, you don't want to be a potted plant in this class. He's like, I expect you to be here. I expect you to show up on time. I expect you to participate and be part of it. So I feel like a lot of what you're saying just brought this Terry Tevis flashback
I
to
love
me.
it.
Right? We have to be vocal. And again, you've been here for a while here, Vickie. I have to imagine that, when you first started your career, that there were not as many women as there are right now, which I think is a opportunity, actually. Has it been an opportunity for you?
Yeah, I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes and no. How's that?
That's
Yeah,
great.
yes and
That's
no.
brutally honest.
Yeah, yes and no. I I'm the middle of three girls, and I was raised by two awesome parents who had me believe that I was worthy, and I had every right to be in whatever room I wanted to be in. So I was fortunate to be raised that way. I sometimes wonder if I had a brother, if it'd been any different, but we'll give my parents credit either way. But I was raised to believe I had a right to be in the room. And what I will say to everyone listening, male, female, young, old, you have a right to be in the room. Um, and when I started in the business, I did notice that there weren't very many women who were doing the job that I wanted to do, which early in my career was be a wholesaler. I wanted to be a wholesaler when I was 23 years old, and the owner of the company that I worked for kind of patted me on the head and sent me back off to my room and said, "Oh, honey, they'll eat you alive." And you think that, this is early 90s wholesaling in the wirehouse channel. So anybody who was around then knows what that was like. But you know what? But I found somebody who didn't believe that. I found another way. I found a woman who worked at my company who said, if he's not going to help you, I will. And I found somebody who would hire me as a wholesaler in my young 20s to go do it. So, not only do you have to believe you have a right to be in the room, but if plan A doesn't work, there's a bunch more letters to go figure out how to get where you want to go. There's always a way. It just may not be the way that you thought. So yes, when I started in the business, there weren't very many women. I didn't care. I didn't let it bother me. I don't want to say that I was gender blind, but it just was never a thing to me that I was the only, woman in the room. I was okay when someone underestimated me, and it happened and still happens all the time. I'm okay when someone underestimates me because I like seeing the surprise on their face when they discover differently instead of being insulted by it. So we've made some good progress. When I started, I want to say it was maybe 10% of women in our industry, and I think the number you may have said is 30. We've come a long way, but we have a long way to go. Today, there are now, women in financial services organizations. I just came from Women in ETFs, a conference in Seattle that was really great. So there's a lot of stuff being done to help women, especially encourage other women to get into this wonderful, wonderful industry. And we need men to continue to coach and mentor and support. So I'll say yes and no. There have been times when I've had male colleagues that didn't support me or didn't endorse me or would interrupt me and then accuse me of interrupting them. And you just have to tolerate in a respectful way, and then, find another way. Find another way to be heard, find another way to show up. And sometimes it means find somebody else to go work for.
Another knowledge bomb from Vickie Lewin. Congratulations. That was really great advice. I'm really glad that you mentioned women ETFs. I am a member of women ETFs. Ladies, it's free to join women in ETFs. If you are in finance, you're a financial advisor, you are a wholesaler, you are working in a back office, join this organization. It's free. They are international. The strength of this organization is incredible. And the size. The last time that I spoke to them, and they were in our offices about a year ago, they were at 10,000 members. I'm sure that they've way surpassed that. A couple of other female industry organizations that I want to shine a light on right now are Cheryl Hickerson's Females and Finance, and Sherry Stevens' Wealth Leadership Alliance. Those are two incredible organizations, and the women behind those organizations are, again, phenomenal. I think as a woman, you could belong to all three of them if you want, like I do, and decide to pick from, hey, I want to do an in-person experience. I want to do a virtual experience. I want to do a Zoom meeting, or, hey, I just want to DM one of the members to ask a question. One of the things that I learned, Vickie, and this was a second career for me, is that there was almost a time when I wanted to bail. I'll be brutally honest, where I didn't feel like I was getting the support. I was getting the support from men. I wasn't always getting the support from women, right? And I wanted to bail. It got so hard. I remember crying over the bathroom. I don't really even, well, I do remember what happened to me. It was like slight bullied experience. Like, I didn't know what a margin account was, and the person was explaining it to me like I was like, so dumb. And anyway, I was really like insulted. I was like, I don't need people talking down to me like that. I was all attitudinal about it. But I think one of the things that we see is that there is women who get here who don't who leave prematurely because they've been set off by something. And that's being set off by something. Don't you think, Vickie? It's a natural. You could be in manufacturing, you could be in cybersecurity, you could be in finance, you could be in medicine. It's going to happen because it's human.
Yeah, there's jerks everywhere. There's jerks everywhere, but don't be one. There's a Michelle Obama quote that I like, that I use often. They go low, we go high. So
Oh,
just
her book was
right.
fantastic. Her book was amazing. She reads the audiobook, you guys. It's so good. And I
So just out,
remember when she said that.
yeah, they go low, we go high. So just outclass people who are jerks, and then go find other people to be around.
Awesome. So Amplify platform, everybody, again, just to remind you, amplifyplatform.com. Vickie, what can you tell us about what's next for Amplify?
Yeah, so we talked earlier about AI and the importance of data. So we are really working on making sure that we are the central hub of data for all of our clients, so we can add on all of these great AI applications. Right now, we are I don't want to say rebuilding, although that's the word that's already out there. We are reimagining. I like that better. We are reimagining our product marketplace. Many people think of it as a model marketplace, a place where you can go to get all the different managers and strategies. So we're reimagining our product marketplace so that it includes things like annuities and alternatives, in addition to just mutual fund ETF and individual stock portfolios, so advisors can see those side by side. We are exploring new ways for advisors and the firms they work for to look at risk in portfolios, both the risk that the individual may profile to in a risk tolerance questionnaire and the risk that they're taking on. We're looking at new ways to help advisors visualize and talk about that we'll be leaning into later this year. And then, next year for us, it'll be a lot about AI bolt-on applications relative to portfolio optimization and the next best call to make to clients, and really serving up things to financial advisors that the system believes that they should know about, that they may not be thinking of.
That's great. For anyone that wants to follow your work, ask some more questions, maybe even get a demo of Amplify, what's the best way for listeners to get in touch with you?
So on LinkedIn, you can find me on LinkedIn under Vickie Edwards Lewin. I look at it every day. I respond to almost all of the emails, unless somebody's trying to sell me something in the first 2 seconds of being
yeah, please don't be that person, you guys.
I know. Yes, but I respond there. And then amplifyplatform.com, we just the website is brand new. We relaunched it last week. When I got there, in June, I didn't like the website. It felt a little old. It felt a little tired. It felt a little ordinary. So I worked with an agency over the last several months, and we're proud of the launch of the new website. So spend a little time there, and you can find me on LinkedIn.
Well, good. Well, your agency looks like it did a great job. So everybody, we will put the link to Vickie's LinkedIn. That will be in the show notes. So whether or not you're listening on Apple or Spotify, just go into the description and you'll see Vickie's contact information right there. Okay. So our last question, which I'm not changing, it's a forever question. Like, I changed the question from season 1 and season 2, and this is technically, well, we're really in season 4, but still keeping it a season 3 question. This is what I like, and I've got a personal interest. I've had a lot of health challenges in the last couple of years. Most people know that. We've been very vocal about it. Yes, there's a In the Suite episode on it. But if there's a personal wellness, health, or tip that has significantly benefited you, again, you explained that you are in this industry for 30 years. You look amazing. You're in California. I could just see like your face, like you're illuminated. You got great skin. So tell us, share with us what's your secret weapon, Vickie Lewin?
So
for looking.
does it have to be just one?
No, absolutely not. I love it. Please, the more advice from you, you're dropping knowledge bombs today of
Uh,
greatness. So you go, girl.
well, so I have a couple, and I love the question, and you look great too, by the
Thank you.
way. Um, Surround yourself with people who love and support you. Be around people who lift you up, not people who drag you down. Just being filled up from the inside by that, as many days as you can. Move. I have a couple of rules that people laugh about. I have a no elevator escalator rule. So I'm the person at O'Hare Airport that you'll see walking up the stairs, or the person not using the people mover, and walk, right, move as much as you can. And then when you threw this out, I'm going to just tell you one that is a little funny. I have a no shot rule.
A no shot rule.
No shot rule. So I've been on the sales side of financial services for a lot of time, which means I spend a lot of time in bars entertaining. And every once in a while, people get a little carried away and they bring out the shots. I have a no shot rule. And I have a no shot rule because never in the history of ever have I woken up the next day after drinking shots and said, "Oh, I'm so glad I did that."
I love that advice. That is the best. That is the best, Vickie Lewin. You are amazing. Amazing. What a great conversation. I feel so empowered. I can't wait to put this episode out. And for everyone listening, thank you so much for the time and attention today. And Vickie Lewin, again, 30 years of being in this industry. Thank you in service to the work that you've done to be a real pioneer and a real, female force and a model for growth. Look, you've got a wonderful opportunity here at Amplify. I know you're going to take this platform, you and your business partners are going to take this platform to a whole nother level. It's really exciting that here we will be watching in the suite. And we thank you so much for the courtesy of your time and amazing discussion.
Thank you. I could talk to you all day. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Me too. Thanks, everybody. And let's just pray that the market volatility goes down by the time this episode comes out.
There we go.